Hey guys, welcome to Precision Machine Shed. I'm Brett, and today what I got is something kind of cool. I recently picked up a couple new compressors, and here's one of them. Here's the other one. You can probably see part of it, but we'll get to that one later. So what this is this is a 1925 USA Co. Two-stage horizontally opposed air compressor. And the cool thing about these is, first off, it's a survivor because this thing is still in pretty good shape. Somebody at some point in time went through and must have fixed this thing up, made sure it's still running, and repainted it. And when I got it, I basically just cleaned it up, and here it be. There are a couple issues with this thing that we'll have to go through and look at and make sure that it's still functioning the way it should be. These originally, I believe, were set up to create up to 200 PSI of working pressure, which is crazy high. Most shops now don't even use that much pressure, but this was designed and built for that. However, I don't ever plan on running it that high, and you know, it'd probably be a good idea to pressure test this guy, which I might do at some point. But the place I bought it from, this thing was actually functioning and working, and they used it. So we're just going to go through it. I went through and cleaned it up, and we're going to try and fix a couple of the issues that are wrong with this thing. So if you've never seen one of these things, they are kind of a relic of the past. This one was built in March. Actually, that pump was cast March 24th, 1925. And everything on here is pretty much original except the power box here. I don't believe that's original. It's got the original 300 PSI air gauge, and it's also got the original tank and the original top plate here, which is a cast iron plate. As far as the motor goes, it's kind of an era correct motor, but I'm not sure that this was the motor that it came with originally, because I'm not sure that this is the mounting system that it came with originally either. The first issue that I ran into with this guy was actually the speed of this pump. From everything I've read online, it appears to be that these pumps originally ran at about 400 RPM. And they originally had a flat belt configuration. This, however, has been transformed at some point in time into just a V-belt, run on a V-belt. The problem we have right now is that I believe this thing is running way too fast. This is a pretty big pulley. This is probably an 8-inch pulley running on this big, I don't know what this is, a 16-inch flywheel probably. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing on, and it shakes like you can't believe. So that's another issue we got to deal with. And I'm going to start by trying to slow this thing down. We'll take a reading of the shaft here at the pump and see what our actual RPM is, and then we'll try and I'll probably measure this, and this is a 1750 1725 RPM motor, so at 1725. So we can calculate based on the size of this, the size of this pulley, and our speed motor, how we can get to around 400 or just a little under 400 at this pulley. This is probably running 700-800 RPMs. It's probably running twice as fast as it should be. I have another Champion pump compressor just like this. The configuration is similar. It's got a big flywheel like this, but the pulley on the motor is actually about a 3 or 4 inch pulley. So it's about half the size of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this thing in. We'll turn it on. Hopefully I can stabilize it to where we can get a measurement on our flywheel here, and we'll see how fast this guy is running. Alright, you guys ready for this? Because I'm not sure that I am. This thing shakes pretty bad. So I'm going to turn this thing on, and unfortunately my switch is way over there, so I'm going to look here. And this is 220 volt right now. Not that it matters, but I don't want to get caught in this thing. And of course here's our RPM gauge, so I'll start this guy up and we'll crank it on, and hopefully we can get a good reading here. 639, 640. That's what we were getting. After doing a few calculations, here's what it came up. So this is just about an 18.5-inch flywheel on here. This is a 7-inch pulley, and we're 26 inches apart, center to center. I don't know if that matters really all that much, but Our reading when I punched it into the calculator gave us 650 RPMs, which was pretty dang close to our actual reading of 639, call it 640. In order for me to slow this thing down, I want to be at 400 or less. That's kind of my goal here. In order to do that, we need to remove this pulley and put, what do I need? I need a 4-inch pulley on there. So by changing this to a 4-inch pulley from a 7-inch pulley, we're dropping it down almost 200 RPMs. And I think that is right where this pump needs to be. So at 373 RPMs, I believe that's also pretty close to where the actual factory spec of this pump should be running at. The cool thing about this pump, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the motor makes almost as much noise as the actual pump does. These things are kind of advertised back in the day as silent or quiet or very quiet air compressors, which is kind of a thing that is kind of lost on today's air compressor companies. But I'm gonna have to go through and check this out and see if I actually have a pulley that size. I'm not quite sure that I have a pulley that size that I could even modify to fit this. I believe this is a 7/8 or possibly 1-inch shaft on this motor, and I'm just gonna keep using that motor because it actually works quite well. The bearings might be a little worn, but it still functions very well, and it's not too noisy. So I'm gonna take a look, and if I can't find one, I think I'm just gonna go buy one. I hate buying these pulleys because they can get expensive. But we need to slow this thing down because it's running way too fast. And I'm hoping that when we slow it down, it's going to actually get rid of some of our shake. And if I can't get rid of some of the shake, I believe there was actually some stick-on wheel weights that were here when I got the thing. And I'm gonna see if I can try and balance the flywheel out a little bit. I've never done that before, so let's hope slowing the pump down helps it. And for the fun of it, here's the beast of a compressor I got. It, not quite as tall as I am, but this is an old Champion Pneumatic OE4180V. So it's an 80-gallon tank. It's a 2-stage, similar to the R15 type pumps of today. Maybe a tad bit bigger, but this is another pump that was built to produce 200 PSI working pressure. That's what this thing was advertised as. It's crazy. However, future project. I'm not getting to this thing today, but it's here and it's a beast. This thing weighs 700 pounds. It's crazy. Well, here we are. I was able to find a different pulley. Instead of making one, I just actually went to the store and bought one, you know, straight from China. This is a 4-inch pulley. It's a 1-inch shaft on this old motor. And then being that we went to a smaller diameter pulley here, we had to go get a different size belt. So this is a, I don't know what this is, an 80, not that it's really relevant, but an 89-inch belt, and that will function pretty well on here. The other thing I also did is this has oil zerks, like a lot of the old machines and equipment of the back in the day, and I do have my high pressure oil grease gun that's modified to inject oil into fittings like this. So I actually oiled this motor up and it quieted down quite a bit, and I got this thing running the speed that I believe it should be. According to the pulley speed calculator that I punched all this information into, we should be at 373 RPMs at the large flywheel here. We'll check it here. I'll turn it on. I got it ready to run, and we'll check our RPMs. And listen to how quiet this thing is. It's pretty insane. I'm gonna actually walk around here and turn it on because I don't like reaching over that thing. But here we go. So that's up. Like I said, the motor is almost makes more noise than the pump itself. So the pump you can barely even hear. You can hear a little tick out of the intake here, but there you can hear it. Put that cap back on, you can't hear it. So let's check the RPM here. .366 RPM. I will double check the speed on that pump, but I'm pretty sure that's a lot closer to what it should be other than what were we getting before, 640. I think that's way too fast for this pump. And as you can see, it also shakes, and I'm not quite sure. I don't believe that this flywheel is off that much that it would make it shake. I think what we're getting is the shake from these large pistons going back and forth. Now, theoretically, they should be balanced, and it should work just fine, but if you think about the laws of physics here, we got a big cylinder on this side and a smaller cylinder on this side. Therefore, it makes me think if you got a big cylinder running that way and a smaller one this way, it might make that vibration. That's the best guess I have. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I'll turn it on this side. Kind of cool. And that thing pumps out some air. There's quite a bit of air flowing across here. So it's blowing quite a bit of air. Keeping a paper towel straight. Keeping that pump cool. Well, this is kind of a cool little piece of equipment, I guess you would say. This old air compressor from 1925. You don't see a lot of these things around. It's kind of cool that I actually ran across this one and was able to purchase it. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it now that I have it, because I have, actually I got 5 compressors if I count them all up, but this one I think I'm probably going to move down the road. If somebody else wants it, get a hold of me, let me know. And I'm gonna sell, I got a Campbell Hausfeld, like a commercial one that I use for my air now, and then I got this old Champion Beast here that I think I'm gonna try and fix up and use for my main air supply. So this guy, I don't really have a need for it. I don't have the space for it is the main thing. If I had space for it, I would hang on to it. But got a few things fixed on it, got it running and working the way it should be. And it's actually a cool old piece of equipment. Alrighty, if you guys enjoyed that, please be sure to hit the like button and comment below. Tell me what you think about this thing. It's kind of cool. I like to hear what people got to say about things. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button. Hit the bell. That little bell that goes ding. And you'll get notified of all my future videos, and I've got hopefully a lot more coming up. And check out my Patreon. I'm going to do more gunsmithing stuff with my rifle shop that I have, and I look forward to getting that stuff out to you guys. Till next time, stay safe on your machines and shoot safe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.